good morning, or hello, or whatever. How's it going, guys? It's good to be back. We're in Vietnam, folks. We're in Hochiminh, and it is morning. It is 8 a.m. here in Hochiminh, and I'd like to welcome you all to the Sunday/Monday live stream on YouTube. I'm at a coffee shop. You can't see the sign of the coffee shop, but it's called the Rio Cafe. What's the temperature? What is the temperature here? Right now, let me do AccuWeather. Oh, I don't know. It's hot. It's sweaty. Yeah, I'm like literally like sticky. Look at. Thank you. Everybody wonders who the hell I am. Wow. I got a coffee. They gave me a whole heaping, that's not a spoonful. That is a quarter cup of sugar that they gave me. But I told them I wanted 2 coffees. I wonder if they didn't quite understand. Maybe they gave me a double. That's what I think they gave me, double. But we got a live stream to do, so that's okay. Hey, I want to start the live stream by first setting this up. I'm going to do a little bit of an overview of what we've been doing, a little bit of an overview of what we've got going on in the future. But the primary focus of this vlog is to talk about the trike. So if you're not really interested in the cycling aspect, then you might not find this too interesting, or you might find it very interesting because maybe some of this stuff might be new to you, or you're interested in hearing about the trike. I want to do some shout outs real quick. My Patreon and my YouTube memberships, now that I'm back, I'm very appreciative of the people that helped me do this journey, and I'd like to thank, I got a new Patreon a couple of days ago. Her name was Fiona Sproles. And so Fiona, thank you very much. Ethan Mandel, Andrew Hall, and Duane Gomes. Thank you very much. You're very some valued Patreons. If I didn't mention your name, you're not any less value. I think I'd like to at least announce some new members or existing members. Andrew Hall has been a member for a long time, and thank you, Andrew. So. To all my supporters, thank you so much. That's member, thank you. If you want to become a member, Patreon links and YouTube links are in the description below. You can check those things out, help me on my journey. But for the cycling thing, I have had some help specifically for my, hey, Sylph. Wow, Travels by Trike is here. Nice to see you. I better get right to the gearing with the quickness, but I do want to mention a couple more things. My trike and the repairs have been done at the bike shop Vietnam, which is in Ho Chi Minh. It's about 18 kilometers from where I'm at right now. They have been a great place for me to send my gear to, shipments and things like that. We're going to their place, and then I took the trike there. They tuned it up. They changed my brake cables. They gave me a place, a workspace to do all my repairs, so thank you very much for that. TerraCycle, Pat and his team at T-Cycle, thank you so much. They sent me a whole bunch of stuff, which you'll see in a short time, and Pat and his crew have been awesome. Anybody that knows Pat knows. And Pat, I say Pat, but Pat owns TerraCycle, but his whole crew is awesome. So thank you very much, guys, at TerraCycle. Haberstock Mobility, thank you so much for helping me out. They hooked me up with a Schlumpf drive, and you'll see more about that in a little bit. They gave me a discount on the Schlumpf drive that I was interested in. You'll see it in a little bit. Actually, I'm being totally honest, they gave me a 30% discount on their Schlumpf drive, and I appreciate that. HP Volatechnic, of course. Thank you, crew at HP. You guys have been great. Even though the shipment is still stuck in customs, I'm waiting for a new fender to replace this fender. I think it's going to come on Thursday, which does me no use at all because I'll be cycling towards Cambodia by that time. Finally, Neil at Cycle Monkey, thank you so much. Neil is a guru when it comes to understanding and explaining internal hubs and gearing systems, and he really was helpful in me calculating and figuring out what sort of gearing upgrade I needed. So thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Let me see if I can hook up to the internet. I'm kind of curious to see how hot it is. It feels like it's honestly, it feels like it's about 80, 85 degrees right now and climbing. Here, I'll connect to my phone, and then I'll go AccuWeather, and I'll go Hochiminh. When I do talk about the trike and the repairs that I just made, you guys can wait a little bit longer. This is kind of a spoiler because the next episode of the vlog, no, it won't let me connect to my phone. The next episode of the vlog will actually have more in-depth installation video I took from the shop when I was putting all of this stuff on. The coffee, it's not that good. I think a little bitter. But it's going to do its job, and that's all I need. So, what are you doing to do this chat? Sylv, I'm using an iPhone 10. Previously, I used an iPhone 7 Plus. Doing live streams with your iPhone is really, really convenient. So I recommend that as the best way because chatting and everything is so easy. You were at that bike shop? Gordo Gambler, cool. It's a great bike shop, and it's right in the middle of a district with all sorts of foreigners, so it feels comfortable there. Morning from Chengdu. Hey everybody, hey everybody. All right, and then Rambling is here. Rambling Randy, you deserve a very special shout out. You give me thumbs up on all my videos. You know, when I wake up in the morning, I check all my previous comments, and I check all the flagged comments. Sometimes if somebody puts a link in the video or says a foul language word or whatever, but apparently a thumbs up is considered a foul language because it always goes to my spam folder, and I've got to approve those comments. And Ramblin' Randy, he's been going through my previous videos and just watching them. And I go to my spam folder, I'm like, wow, that tells me there's like 10 need spam messages, and it's like all Randy, thumbs up. So I check, and I approve all those. Thank you, Randy. I appreciate it. I'm sorry that my phone does not treat you, or my YouTube account does not treat you with more respect. All right. With all those thanks and shout outs out of the way, let me get into the nitty gritty of it. Just FYI, in Vietnam, when you drink a coffee, they give you a tea, an iced tea, with your coffee. It's sort of like a palate cleanser. No water. It's pretty much always iced tea. You can ask for water, but it's very watered down, so it's almost like drinking water. Okay. Oh no, Game of Thrones. That's right. Don't tell me. I pretty much know I've spoiled. I read all the spoilers, and if the spoilers are true, you're all going to be very disappointed. You're much better just watching this, because what happens in that show is going to be really, really disappointing if it's what I think it is. But whatever. All right. So let's go through the trike, and I'll show you what I did. So here we go. This is the Tiger Duck. I'm not really riding today, so this is an empty pannier, and that's just stuffed with my backpack, just to give you an idea of volume and scale. My steering, my stand-up assist, and the front chain ring. We'll get to that later. Weird guy behind me. I think that's a security guard or something. When you check into hotel rooms, do you get hot tea? You know what? I always carry coffee. I always carry coffee with me, so I make myself a coffee. I'm not a big fan of tea. Maybe ginger tea or lemon tea, but not a big fan. Okay, so Well, I was actually let me go through the last few days. I can show you all the things I've done. So when I was in, this is the roll-off speed hub, 14 gears, and this is my chain tensioner here. While I was in Sapa and on my way down, it was giving me some trouble. My old chain, if you remember, elongated by about this much. So I ordered a sprocket. HP helped me get the sprocket here, and I ordered some little parts, and they came, but I didn't have the sprocket removal tool, so I had to wait again. Sprocket removal tool came, and I ended up replacing this sprocket. The teeth on that thing were toast. I replaced those in Fona, I remember. So I replaced that. I have a new chain. I have new tensioner wheels. I kind of wanted to change this whole thing, but ended up I didn't get the whole setup, so I didn't change that. So my roll-off speed hub should be good as long as I change my chain from now on a regular basis every 3,000 or 4,000 kilometers. I shouldn't have a sprocket problem anymore. It was my own fault. I've had a few people telling me that you know, the Trike is a piece of, yeah, that Trike's junk, that's garbage, you got to repair it all the time. It's not necessarily the Trike's fault, it's my fault. Ignorance can cause problems. Ignorance causes most of the world's problems, I would probably suppose. So I let that chain go like 25,000 kilometers, and you know, you let a chain go that long, especially in the beginning when I was carrying all that heavy weight. I'm sure I did some stretching in the very beginning. I ride a lot more smart today than I used to, so good stuff. Thank you, everybody. I've got 115 people here watching. Dropped off a couple for watching Game of Thrones. So let's keep going. Okay, so the other thing I changed is this. This is a metal, I think aluminum rear fender. Sylvie, if you have a chance, change your rear fender. If you still have the plastic one from HP. This one is awesome because we took it off of a children's bike. Originally it was like neon purple and it had hearts and stars all over it and stickers. I took all the hearts and stars off. I took it down the road to a bike repair store, like an actual motorcycle repair store. They wet sanded it down and painted it black, and now I've got a really, really nice rear fender. It mounts directly to the existing mount, and I actually Loctited it, so it's in there permanently. I re-drilled holes where the original fender kind of mounted on the support struts, and now it's kind of using the original support struts. These are the original support struts from my plastic fender, and I have a feeling I'm not going to have any problems with this like I did on the last one. On the back here, I have a problem I still have not fixed. My connectors here are, this one is just toast. I need to find an electrical supply place to change these connectors because they very easily pop out of the rear taillight, and I end up getting, I was riding through a tunnel for a while, and I found out because when I'm riding like alongside storefronts and stuff, I can look at the glass of the storefront and I can see my front light and my rear tail light. And I remember riding through all these tunnels and stuff, and I got out, I was in the city, and I looked at, it was late, I looked in the storefront windows to see my reflection, and I couldn't see the red glow. I was like, oh shit, I can't believe I went through all those tunnels with no light on my rear end. And I found out that it was because these connectors are worn. What I'd really like to do is just solder them on. So they've got these tabs here. I'd just like to solder them on. Anyways, that's that. Pat at T-Cycle sent me a new flag, so I've got a new rear flag. The reason I kind of go through flags real quick is because originally I had my rear pannier bag and it was pushing against the flag and it was wearing this, and also the top poked through, so the stick was poking through and actually was poking through the top of the flag. So I'm going to treat this one with a little bit more respect than my last one. Hopefully it'll last longer. And then, of course, Pat made me a specialty flag, this big dog with my QR code goes to my YouTube channel, Jayoe's logo. This is all reflective. So when you shine a light on this, it just shines out. And then, of course, TerraCycle, I said, you got to throw your logo on there because I want to give you guys some shout-out power. So that was, now as we move forward, we get to another major thing. And this is a finer recliner headrest from TerraCycle. TerraCycle actually partnered, I think, with the company that makes this, and then kind of now they're the same thing. But finer recliner used to be made by another company, and TerraCycle kind of partnered with them. So this is a very comfortable curved headrest when you put your head on it. I'll sit down. I'll show you in a second, but I want to show you some of the issues I had. One of the great things about Pat and his team at TerraCycle is not only do they send you the kit to install this, but they send you as many different alternatives to installing it as possible. So, for example, my seat has a bar. Let's see here. You can see it right here. My finger's touching it. That's the support bar on my seat, a metal bar that goes across from one side to the other. The bracket that they originally sent me was about the size of my fist. So it hooked on, and then it kind of came backwards, and then the headrest came up, and then you put the headrest on. But because I have this rear trunk pannier, which is great, I'd like to do a luggage review later, maybe a video of all of these panniers I use and why. But it was pressing into the bag and there was no space here. And I knew that if this was pushing on this bag too much, I would fray and end up burrowing a hole through it. You know, all you need is a little friction over a long period of time, and you're getting some bad news. So they had this secondary clamp that clamps directly onto the rear bar. And so instead of going from here to here to here, I just went directly from here up. And it even extends. I took it and I chopped this bar and this bar, I chopped down so they were a little bit smaller because I like to have my headrest really close to the top of the seat. But it was really easy, just hacksawed it into the correct length, and man, it has been perfect. So the finer recliner also, see, you know another great thing about Pat? He prints his logo. That's T-Cycle's logo. But in a lot of cases, if you look at some of his other, where is it? Yeah, see that? He prints my logo on the parts too. That's the Jayoe. And they did that at T-Cycle. That's pretty awesome. You guys rock. Anyways, so I had my headrest here, but I also had like this long support pole, right? And I mean, honestly, I could chop it off here and it would just do the purpose of a headrest mount, but it had all this extra area. So what I did is I put the bottle holder here, and it looks a little bit weird, but let me show you how it works. So when I sit down, you know, your head rests on the headrest here. I'll show you what this is later too. And as long as you're using your correct hand. So I think you reach over, right? Excuse me, I'm gonna sneeze. So it doesn't impede my way at all. But like, check this out. Isn't that perfect? I'm gonna sneeze again. So I need water, boom. I'll get used to it over time. But isn't that great? My other bottle holder is actually up here on the front chainring area. And it sits here. But it's kind of far forward and I have to sit forward to access it. But this one, oh, it's right there. I think that's gonna be fantastic. Isn't that nice? That's super great. for those of you wondering what this is, I think I'm going to have to shift this backwards a little bit, but I'll show you what this is. Now, for those of you that know my trike, they know I have these stand-up assists. 1, 2, these 2 arms. And normally I would set my headrest to be my 3rd leg of my tripod. But now, let me show you. Yeah, so see? So this is how I work on my trike, you know, when I want to change things or clean the bottom or work on my hinge or play with my steering or, you know, maybe work on my brakes or whatever. And you can see that this and this arm act as like tripod supports. But see, if you end up using this, otherwise my headrest would touch the ground, but I don't have to worry about my headrest touching the ground because there's this big support here. I just connected this on, and now, I mean, the trike is extremely stable. I could actually store it this way. It's really quite nice, and I can access my rear. I can play with my roll-off speed hub and adjust my brakes and do any number of repairs on it. It's really, really a great way to work on your trike. If you don't flip your trike over like this, man, I don't know how you do it. There's sometimes I'm working on the trike, and this is the only way and the best way that I can actually work on it. So anyways, let me flip it back. Okay, so let's move on. I'll show you some more stuff that I'm working on. So that's the headrest. What do you guys think of? That? I'm gonna look at some comments because it sounds like some of you guys are being assholes in here. Let's see. Who is being assholes here? Is stealing vids? Is that? Yeah, sorry, buddy. Whoever you are, you're out of here. Put user, hide user on this channel. See ya, buddy. Anybody else? As long as the bottle holder doesn't block your view, looking over your shoulder. Yeah, no, it's really, really nice. Really, really nice. Booze cruising. Yeah, Matthew, that would work pretty well. Okay. Gesundheit, thank you. Okay, good night, Hexagram, if you're still here. I imagine no drains on the seat. The seat's mesh, so. You mentioned that your ass gets wet in raining conditions. Anyways, waterproof the underside of your seat. Yeah, that would not be a good idea. Actually, this seat, it dries really, really fast. This mesh has like a loose foam behind it, and it's really, really nice. Up on the corner left is an electronics repair shop. I'll come out and fix the light back after you leave. Okay, Unboxing Vietnam, that's Johann. He's upstairs right now. So he's watching. What's it like, Johann? You know where I am right now. You're watching me live stream. If you want to, you can come down and say hello, but it's no pressure. Johann has been fantastic. I mean, I gotta give him an Uber shout out. He has not only watched over my trike while I was in China, but he's been helpful in finding the bike shop and getting me set up with where I needed to get set up. You are amazing, my friend. Let's get back to Matt. How is your health? I have been sick a couple of days ago. Let me tell you a little story, side story. A couple of days ago, I was really sick. I was leaking from my nose. Like you ever have so much stuff going on here that you just can't stop leaking? And like, look at the size of this nose. When this nose leaks, watch out. So I was leaking, and they have a couple of pharmacies here. And the pharmacies in Vietnam are interesting. I walked into the pharmacy. I didn't even need to really tell them anything because literally I was dripping on their table. I was like, "Do you have Kleenex?" Like, quick. And I need to some medicine. So the guy gives me some nasal spray, and I'm like, nasal spray ain't gonna do nothing. I'm leaking too much. Nasal spray, I can't barely breathe. And he's like, okay. So he cut me some pills, and he cut me one pill of one variety, one pill of one variety, one pill of one variety, and he slides it over and he says, "Take this." So I take the pills, and I'm like, okay, now I buy the boxes. They don't do that here. Bikepacking, hello, Mark. They don't do that here. They only give you like one dose of pills. Like in America, you buy Tylenol, you buy an entire pack. Sometimes if you go to Costco, you'll buy 3 or 4 packs of Tylenol. It'll last you 90 days worth of daily doses of Tylenol. But here, they only give you one pill. If you're still sick, you go down, you get another one pill set. Anyways, I'm like, give me some more. And he looked at me like, why do you want more? You just come down and get more pills when you want to. I'm like, no, give me 3. I bought 3 pills of each style, and I'm doing okay now, but it's very weird how they do pills here. It's so funny. I still don't think the larger chain ring on the Schlumpf drive is a good idea. Okay. Well, let's get there. We'll get there soon enough. So, now, these are my stand-up assist ends. If you guys remember, these were broken, so I changed these. These are like the top end grips, and then I actually changed these. Funnily, I had my Garmin here, or not my Garmin, my iPhone attached to my quad lock, and it unscrewed, and it fell off in the road. I lost that little screw that goes on the Garmin, or the quad lock screw that holds, it wasn't tight enough, it was my fault, but I didn't lose my phone. It didn't get stolen, it didn't get run over, because it was on a busy street. My phone falls off the trike. Anyways, it's okay. Ideally, I wanted to, as I'm moving forward, I'm kind of showing you stuff. Ideally, I wanted to change this. It's already loose. It's not really loose. It's just loose on this bracket here, but I really want to change this fender, but it's coming from HP Velotechnic. It's still not here. Now, the guys at T-Cycle, Pat and TerraCycle, Pat and his team, they produced me a whole bunch of decals. These are 3M reflective decals. They are beautiful. So I cleaned the trike, and I had them, actually I had the guys at the Bike Shop Vietnam clean it. And I put a whole bunch of Jayoe stuff. So this is kind of neat. If you guys know the Chinese characters for Ja and Yo, that's what this is. But if you also look at it in English, you can see Jayoe. So it's the actual Chinese characters of Jayoe can be recognized by Chinese people, but it also says Jayoe in English, which is very cool. Anyways, what I'd like to do actually is start collecting stickers. I got one sticker, where did I get that one? In Japan. But I'd like to get more stickers, little ones that I'll decorate the tube with from places I visit along the way. Okay, that's finished. Are we ready to look at the, oh, Silva's leaving? Thanks, Silv. Well, this is the Schlumpf drive I got, by the way, if you're still here. I know that you might have been waiting to see it. So this is the engaged Schlumpf, and this is the non-engaged Schlumpf. So let's get into it and tell you, oh, before I do, I've been using these pedals. Pedaling Innovations, actually Mark from Bikepacking gave me these. These are fantastic pedals. I've really, really loved them. Very, very nice. Drink a coffee. Okay. "30 minutes into this thing, and we get to the point where I think most people are going to be interested, the Schlumpf drive. So, without further ado. Now, the previous gearing system that I had on this trike was a 32-tooth speed drive, not a high-speed drive. For those of you that don't know, it's just a speed drive. For those of you that don't know what a Schlumpf is, basically, you hit this button here with your heel, and it engages internal mechanisms on this drive. Actually, it's engaged right now. So it translates the gearing up or down. So let me disengage it, okay? Now you can see that as I turn the pedals, one revolution of the pedals is one revolution of the chain ring, right? So when you engage a Schlumpf drive, the internal gears, is somebody being annoying? Gate belt drives are the future. Okay. All right. It doesn't seem like he's being like a troll. So let me tell you a little bit about the previous drive I had. So I had Schlumpf makes basically three types of drives. There's a high speed, there's a speed drive, there's a high speed drive, and there's a mountain drive. Okay, so they all work differently, and they're all used for different purposes. I had a speed drive, and so let's just say, like right now, when I turn this pedal, one turn is one revolution of the sprocket. So that's basically like 1 to 1, right? So one turn is one turn of the sprocket. So that's always an unengaged Schlumpf drive, is always your 1 to 1, right? This is the unengaged gear is always the easiest gear to pedal because the internal gears aren't engaged or anything. It's basically like you're pedaling a solid ring. When you engage the drive, it can do any number of things. On the speed drive, it actually increases the ratio on your chain ring. So for example, my last one was a 32-tooth ring and increased that ring dimension theoretically by the internal gearing by 1.65. So if I had the 32-tooth chain ring, it would increase it so that when I engaged it, this ring would actually go faster, simulating a larger ring by 1.65. So like, it's kind of hard, it's always hard for me to explain, but think of it like a 32-tooth ring that is on my front ring. When I engage a drive, it increased it to 53 teeth. So it increased it using the internal gearings to simulate what it would be like to have a 53-tooth ring. Excuse me. And so this ring now is a 60-tooth, and instead of engaging it and having it simulate a larger ring, I'm having a larger ring, and when you engage it, it simulates a smaller ring. They call this a mountain drive, and it's designed specifically for helping you climb mountains, because the you know, when you're going up a mountain, you want to be able to kind of be able to engage the drive and get a much more lower set of gears, right? Lower and higher. I always get the lower and higher because you want to go lower, like a lower size chain ring. So you can see from this that one revolution of the pedals you can see one revolution of the pedals. Like, let's see, if you look at this screw here, you can see one revolution of the pedal barely moves this chain ring around one full turn. So I get a lot of help when I'm climbing mountains. This is going to be a fantastic drive for me, and I get a lot of people. The biggest the biggest negative that I got from a lot of people was the fact that if this drive does fail on me, most of the time the way that these drives fail, if they do, is they'll fail and freeze. So basically you'll never be able to engage a drive again. And if I'm on a mountain and they freeze on me, I'll be stuck with this big fat 60-tooth chain ring. And what is the engaged ratio on the mountain drive? You know what? After I finish this live stream, I will post the ratios. Is Cecil still talking about belt drives? Big belt drives. He must work for the company that makes belt drives. Basically, I was recommended this by a gentleman who has the same trike. He had the same drive as me, and he upgraded to this drive. And when we finished, you know who you are. When we finished talking, it was like a no-brainer that I should use this chain ring. I think that I'm not going to have any problems, even if this thing. To be honest, I was riding yesterday, and 60 teeth. I was living inside the 60 tooth from stop to high speed. It's really the perfect gear range. I am living inside that 60 tooth. Obviously, when I get on the mountains, I'll engage the drive and use a lot of those gears. I don't even know if I'll ever use the lowest gear on the roll-off speed hub and the lowest gear engaged gear on the mountain drive, because it's really low. I mean, like inches. You know, my feet are spinning like this, and I'm slowly walking up the mountain. It's going to be great. I'm excited about it. Geez, I wish I could tell you the gear ratios, because the other thing that's interesting is the previous. You should do the low gear ones to show you guys. Let me see. Let me put my panniers back on. Maybe I'll take it for a ride and show you. Finish my coffee and my tea. Oh, okay. All right. Johann's gonna come down and say hi. I'm actually not really nervous, but a little nervous, because I'm going to ride out there. I'm going to have the camera. I'm going to be live streaming for you guys. I just don't want I don't want anybody to steal my phone. There was somebody that says in Vietnam, if you have like an iPhone 10 and you're holding it in your hand, somebody will take a knife and they'll just chop your fingers off to get to your phone. Scary. I'm going to shut down the live stream for just a quick second. If I disappear, I'll be back in a second. I just want to see how my battery life is on my phone. Hey Rico, how's it going, buddy? Did you like that Leo's fish tank episode I did a couple of days ago? That was pretty cool. How are them LEDs, buddy? To be honest, I haven't used them very much. I haven't used them since I recorded that video of the review of them. They're amazing LEDs. It's just I don't have the opportunity to use them. Yeah, I did 55 kilometers an hour on that bridge yesterday. My pace with this ring, it's hard for me to describe. The previous speed drive I had was failing, rubbing each other, and so when I engaged the drive, there was a lot of friction. So I very rarely used it. Having the 60 tooth and the 1-to-1 be my standard gear, you guys see? Let me know if you see me. I think am I here? I don't know what's happening. I should be.
Now it says live, 16 people watching.
31 likes. Can you see me? Hey guys.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on. I'm just on and off, on and on and off, and on and off. Lose it again. The live stream has ended, okay? I'll just go and watch the end of Game of Thrones, I guess. But anyway, Johann is here.
Hey everybody.
Everybody say hi. Real quick, the drive I have now is a 2.5 ratio.